friends, it's Nancy, and I've got a flip through of my most recent journal project. The theme is farmhouse, and I think this has got to be one of my most favorite journals ever. I'm really proud of it. It's 6 inches wide and about 9 inches high. The spine is a curved hollow back spine that I handmade this patchwork for. Using a linen and feed sack fabric, vintage feed sack fabric, well, all feed sack fabrics vintage, I guess, as well as some tatting. This is 2¼ inches across. So you can see there's 11 signatures in there. I really pulled out the oldie but goodie stuff in my stash. I don't know if I've ever used so much authentic ephemera before. So yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm really thrilled. So let's get started. On the inside here, the inside cover is been covered with a vintage newspaper from 1947, and it's got all kinds of ads for turkeys and chicks and geese. This is a journal card I made by stitching a prize card from an agricultural fair to some cardstock, pattern cardstock, and stitching around that. At some point in history, this has got wet and it's taken the color out of there, but that's part of its history. So that's from 1952. The pocket is also from this newspaper. So on the front cover, the inside cover here, a lot of the images that I used from this book are in this journal are fussy cut from this book called Do Unto Animals. The illustrations in here are just magnificent. So if you ever see a copy of this book, I mean, look at that pattern paper. It's all dogs. Isn't that cute? Oh, there's some cats in there. Pick it up. Pick it up if you like animals. Okay, so I fussy cut this image to decorate the title page, which is on, it's not scrapbook paper, but it's a pattern paper. I remember I got this at a thrift store in Milverton. This is from a vintage ledger. Let me just grab it. So this ledger dates to here is 1895. I think it's 1893 are the first dates in here. There's a 94. Yeah. So there's lots of those pages in there. I don't know how many, 5 or 6 maybe, but those are from the 1890s. This image is from a 1930s encyclopedia. This is a picture of a boy and his cow. And I've just attached it there with this is a new bulldog clip, but I aged it with hydrogen peroxide, vinegar, and salt, and I've tied a little scrap of feed sack fabric there. This page is from a program from an agricultural fair from 1911. And this is the prize list for different cows. So I just put a fussy cut of a cow there. This ledger, this is really thick paper. This is from a ledger that had like, I want to say 1910 dates in it. This is some genuine ephemera. So this is the 72nd annual report of the North Waterloo Farmers Mutual. So this was a trifold, but it was pretty dirty. So the dirty part I turned in and I glued the two parts together to make this little tuck spot. So these are, this is a vintage deposit slip. This is from a life insurance company. This is, I don't know, these are, you know, little desk notepads. And I've attached them with a brad, a vintage brad. I'll tuck that back in later. I don't want to fuss with it. This is from a farming account book from, I want to say, the 1960s. This is, this little card here is from a vintage game called Uncle Wiggily. And I've just made a little cluster here using flowers that I made out of feed sack fabric, buttons, some old lace. This was a pot holder that I tore apart and made into a little pocket. And this was 3 or 4 layers of book page that I stitched together, and on top of it I've glued a newspaper recipe for dandelion wine. And again, this is a very old button here. I'm not sure if I'm showing that well enough. And feed sack fabric just to decorate that. This is vintage wrapper for butter, and I used a punch to make that edge lacy. I've used actual vintage mending tape to fix a couple of tears there. This is some graph paper that I picked up somewhere. It's clearly got some age to it. This is from a seed catalog from, I believe this was 1944. So this was during the war years when everybody was encouraged to have a victory garden and grow their own food. So here's another little fussy cut down here of a couple chicks. This is a quilt patch, and I've just tucked this tag that I made out of book page and an image from a vintage book. I think it was an Audubon book, so it was trees and flowers and birds and animals, something like that. This is feed sack fabric here, and this is a really old button that I've stitched there as a topper. This is more of the agricultural fair program. This page is from 1930s encyclopedia. This is from that old seed catalog. Here I've used a, I think this was a French language, either French or German language card. So on the back it would have the word fruit in another language. But I've just made this little decoration here. It's got feed sack fabric that's ruffled that I stitched on. And these are seals from 1963. This is an envelope that contained this gentleman's will. And it's dated 1947. I've flipped it up. This has got the name of the lawyer who prepared the document. This is a flashcard. It says egg on it. And inside I've got this tag. So it's got some cardstock, pattern cardstock on the back. And on the front, this is tape that was used to seal boxes of chicks. And this is from a 1955 farming magazine. And of course this is feed sack fabric. Oh, and the chicken came from that Do Unto Animals book. More farm accounting book. I really like these advertisements that are on the back of some of that fair program. This is a pocket that I cut from a pair of jeans that were sized for a baby. And I've made this little tuck tag. This was using advertisements from that old newspaper that's on the inside pages, the inside cover. And this is feed sack fabric. This is a picture from 1930s encyclopedia. This little coupon here is actually a premium coupon from, I'm not sure what dates. So this is what it would look like. So you would collect these in your tea, coffee, baking powder, cocoa, and then save them to trade in for, I don't know, different stuff. Things. What could you get? Oh, well, this is you could trade it in to get silverware, hose, or socks. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, so that's what that is. I attached it to a piece of cardstock, stitched on this piece of vintage feed sack fabric. On the back, this is a scrap, really, of a label from, yeah, I've got a couple of scrappy labels from piano music roll paper. Anyway, and here's a little price tag from Savette for 15 cents. So just to sort of decorate the back. This is open here, so you can, you know, tuck something in there if you want. This is again from that program about the fair. This is prizes for sheep, so I put a little fussy cut of a sheep there. This is from the seed catalog. This is a crate label for bushel of apples. So I got those at an antique store when I was on vacation up in Algonquin in the summer. Here's some more ledger paper. I love this paper. It's so nice. There's the back of that crate label. Seed catalog. This pocket, I fussy cut this picture from a 1955 Farmers magazine. And I've tucked in this, a plan for a garden. I think it was 30 by 60. What you should plant in your garden. So this came from the seed catalog as well. I've just put it on some file folder and stitched a little bit of this sort of burlappy kind of fabric on it. This is another picture from encyclopedia, and I added a piece of this ruffled feed sack fabric to decorate that. This is an envelope from a bank, so your bank book would have been kept in there. And I stapled together a couple of blank pages from an old check register. So there's some pages there to keep notes. You can tuck behind this as well as in it. This page is from a book. It's called The Gardening Catalog. It's really about organic farming. Oh, this is my favorite page. This is a piece of letterhead from a farm in Elora, which isn't too far from where I live. I love the little chicks across the bottom. A little fussy cut I put on there because this was about hogs. Another picture from encyclopedia. This little short page was glued into the program, so I just left it there. So it talks about the prizes for some horses, I guess. Section 43. Oh, they left section 43 off. Section 43 and 44 got left off. Made this little tuck spot. So this is a vintage tea card, 1965. Vintage feedsack fabric. And I use feedsack fabric to make this little flower. And this is book page that I stamped mason jar on here, die cut it out, then stitched around it. And this is an image from the 1944 seed catalog cover, actually, which I glued onto some file folder, and it just tucks in there. I think that's pretty, with the pinks and the yellows. This is a cover for an auction for pigs from 1945. And this was mailed to a gentleman in Ohio. So there's the stamp. I took the pages out so that this could be used for journaling. Alternately, you could glue these two sides, use that as a tuck spot, or glue the long side and the short side and have a tuck spot from the top. This came from a placemat. So it had this applique flower on it, and this tag, this came in a bag of sewing notions, but what it actually is was wedges to repair your hammer. If your hammer head got loose, you would bang these wedges in to tighten your head back up on your hammer. And I thought that was so cool. So I cut out the front of it, glued it to this printed cardstock, stitched around it, added an eyelet and some of this fabric. I just thought that was the coolest thing, that it came in with sewing notions. More fabric ruffle. This came from 1955 Farming Magazine. And I like how she's got her nails perfect and she's waving to the guy who's installing her water. This came from, this is a crate label as well for tomatoes. It's more of that prize list program. Another vintage quilt 9-patch. This is from a John Deere dealership from 1960s. So I've glued that to some more of that paper. And as a tag tab, I just used a milk coupon, a milk ticket. So you can write on that front and back. There's some more of that tomatoes crate label. This is a vintage handmade doily. And inside I've got a little journaling card. This came from this newspaper. And this is a little bug flying around. This is a card from this game. I don't know what the name's called, or the game is called, but it's all animals. It's in German, so I don't know. It's all animals, and the idea is you match up the parent animal, like there's the cow and there's the calf kind of thing. There's a cat and there's a kitten in here somewhere. There's the bunnies. They're really cute. Oh, there's the cat. The kitten. Schwarzer Peter. I don't know. And this is a little cap from a milk bottle. My sister gave me those. Some more images from that seed catalog. I've used three different kinds of feed sack fabric actually, to make that little collage there. This is fussy cut from the Do Unto Animals. I thought that was really pretty. This is lovely. This is from an encyclopedia. This is a flashcard, and it can also be used as a tuck spot. And it's got feed sack fabric and a milk cap. And I'm just so proud of this. I'll have to bring it up close so you can see. So the milk cap has these red and green stripes. So the fabric that I used to make this little flower has red and green stripes. Oh, just so proud of that. This came from a 1955 Farmer's Magazine. This is actually an unused can label for tomato juice. So it will be glued onto a can. There's the back of it. This is some more fussy cut from that book. Here's another jean pocket, and inside this is a coupon from a very old cookbook, 5 Roses cookbook, and I added a little flower there at the top with some orange in it so it would match the orange in the image. This is the prize list for swine, so I added some swine. I love this. It has all these different pieces of machinery. So you would, do your value of your different machinery. So most of these things, I don't even know what they are. I have no idea what a fanning mill is. This is actually 2 can labels. I've just put them front to back, and they were both for green beans. Go figure. I love the bright colors. it's interesting, these colors on in magazines. Like, it looks like they've printed it and then gone in later and added color. I don't know how they did that, but it's really quite interesting. Here's the other side of those cans. I have this little fussy cut of a goat. He's checking out the poultry prize list. Here's a little tuck spot made from an advertisement from that farming magazine. This is a label for cider, and I've just attached it to some pattern cardstock there. This pocket, I used a recipe card, a handwritten recipe card for cloud biscuits, and this little piece was cut off of a box for buttermilk pancakes. So I stitched that together, added a little bit of fabric, and then here is just a blank recipe card. And this is an advertisement for hog feeds. Magazine page. This was from the Woodstock Fair book. This little scrap, Catherine from Sunnyside Journal sent to me, and I believe she got it from a 1940s scrapbook. She sent me quite a few scraps from that book, actually. And I added this to one of those language flashcards. So it says garden on the front, and on the back it would say something else. I think this was a German one, so it would say Garten. And some bead sack fabric and a vintage button that I stitched on there. So this page was glued to the front page of the Woodstock Fair program. So I just left it like that. Another can label. And this was the back page that was glued on. There's that little bug again that was glued onto the back of the program. Magazine page, and here we are at the back. And inside is this envelope from that old seed catalog. And this would have been in the 1940s, and I love the bright blues. On the back, it talks about poison for your for your rat problem. So that is my farmhouse journal. If you're seeing this video, I have listed this for sale on my Etsy shop. There's a link in the description. I've really enjoyed this. I've spent most of today working on just assembling the little collages and making the tags and stuff, and enjoying every single minute. I was just so energized by being able to pull out some of these old things that I've been collecting and hoarding and storing and being able to put them into such a really, really nice journal that I think somebody is going to enjoy. So thank you so much for watching. I don't know what's next on my to-do list. Oh, I do. I got a book this week that I'm really charged about doing. Yeah. All right. I think I do know what I'm going to do next. but I definitely want to do another one like this. So thank you again for watching my video. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.